You should increase the distance between your vehicle and the vehicle ahead when you A. Are following a small passenger vehicle. B. Are being tailgated by another driver. C. Are driving more slowly than the posted speed limit. B. Are being tailgated by another driver. When being tailgated, create extra space in front of your vehicle and do not brake suddenly. Slow down gradually or merge into another lane to prevent a collision with the tailgater. Orange is the color of signs used to communicate with drivers in construction work zones. A. True. B. False. A. True. Most signs in work areas are orange and diamond-shaped, although some signs are rectangular. These signs and traffic control devices are commonly reflective to better attract your attention at night. If you are involved in a serious motor vehicle crash, A. Stop. B. Call the police. C. Determine if anyone is injured. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. If you are involved in a crash, move your vehicle off of the road and stop, if possible. If anyone is injured, call 911 and provide appropriate help. You must report the crash to law enforcement if there is an injury, a death, and/or more than $1,000 in property damage or more than $200 worth of damage made to non-vehicle government property, such as signs or guardrails. It is unlawful in Iowa for any driver to read, write, or send a text message while driving. A. True. B. False. A. True. It is unlawful for any driver in Iowa to read, write, or send a text message while driving. Before using an electronic communication device to write, send, or read a text message, a driver must safely bring their vehicle to a complete stop off the traveled portion of the roadway.
Want to ace your DMV test? Go to cheatsheets.com and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
If your vehicle has a two-part safety belt system, you should A. Use only the lap belt. B. Use both the lap and shoulder belts. C. Use only the shoulder belt. B. Use both the lap and shoulder belts. If your vehicle has a two-part seat belt system, be sure to wear both the lap belt and the shoulder belt. Wearing either part alone greatly reduces your protection. If you have an automatic shoulder belt, be sure to buckle your lap belt as well. If worried, nervous, angry, or crying, a driver A. Will drive no differently than they would if they were thinking more clearly. B. Can drive faster because they are more in touch with their senses. C. Should take the time to focus on driving before starting the engine. D. Should call a friend to vent while driving. C. Should take the time to focus on driving before starting the engine. You may not be able to drive well if you are worried, excited, crying, angry, or depressed. Emotions can distract you from your driving because your mind is focused on something else. Take time to calm down and get focused before driving. You must obey instructions from school crossing guards. A. At all times. B. Only during school hours. C. Unless you do not see any children present. A. At all times. Drivers should be alert to the presence of crossing guards when near a school and must always obey their instructions. When driving in rain, you must A. Use low beam headlights. B. Use high beam headlights. C. Use parking lights. D. Use no lights. A. Use low beam headlights. In rainy conditions, you should use your low beam headlights. You are involved in a minor collision at an intersection. There are no injuries and there is very little vehicle damage. You should A. Leave your vehicle in the traffic lane until law enforcement arrives. B. Move your vehicle out of the traffic lane if possible. C. Not move your vehicle for any reason. B. Move your vehicle out of the traffic lane if possible. After a collision, if no one has been injured or killed and you can safely do so, you should move your vehicle out of the traffic lane. This road sign means A. The left lane is reserved for vehicles with a specific number of occupants. B. Specific turning movements are allowed from specific lanes. C. Do not enter. D. Drivers in both lanes are responsible for merging smoothly. A. The left lane is reserved for vehicles with a specific number of occupants. This sign marks a high-occupancy vehicle (HOV) lane. HOV lanes are reserved for use by buses and vehicles with a driver and one or more passengers, as indicated on the sign. Highway markings A. Are usually not important. B. Are only found in construction zones. C. Provide information for drivers. D. Are usually red and blue in color. C. Provide information for drivers. Highway markings provide information for drivers. Markings help drivers correctly position their vehicles on roadways, inform drivers of safe passing zones, and warn drivers about upcoming conditions. This road sign means A. Sharp right turn ahead. B. A road joins from the right. C. The road ahead turns sharply right then sharply left. C. The road ahead turns sharply right then sharply left. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. This sign indicates that the road ahead will turn sharply to the right and then sharply to the left. You can drive off the road to pass another vehicle? A. If the vehicle ahead is turning left. B. If there are two or more lanes traveling in your direction. C. Under no circumstances. C. Under no circumstances. You may never drive off the paved or main traveled portion of the road and onto the shoulder to pass another vehicle. Check your rear-view mirrors. A. Often to see how traffic is moving behind you. B. To see if a vehicle is in your blind spot. C. Only when you are slowing down. A. Often to see how traffic is moving behind you. When driving, do not develop a fixed stare. Frequently check your rearview mirrors so you know the positions of vehicles near you. Drivers must be careful when passing large vehicles and should avoid driving beside large vehicles for long periods of time. A. True. B. False. A. True. Because large vehicles have large blind spots on both sides, you should avoid driving beside a large vehicle for a long period of time. It is safest for you to either drop back or move forward when you find yourself directly next to a large vehicle. Which of the following does not happen after drinking? A. Your reflexes and reaction time slow down. B. Your judgment of speed and distance is distorted. C. You are less alert. D. You calm down and can concentrate better. D. You calm down and can concentrate better. Alcohol reduces your reaction time, reduces your ability to see clearly, changes your judgment of speed and distances, reduces your ability to recover from the glare of headlights, and often reduces your inhibitions and makes you more likely to take risks. The driver ahead of you stops at a crosswalk. What should you do? A. Cautiously pass the vehicle at 10 miles per hour or slower. B. Stop, proceeding only when all the pedestrians have crossed. C. Change lanes, look carefully, and pass the stopped vehicle. B. Stop, proceeding only when all the pedestrians have crossed. You must not pass a vehicle that is stopped at a crosswalk. There may be pedestrians crossing the street that you cannot see. Instead, stop, proceeding only after all pedestrians have crossed. This sign means A. You must turn left or right. B. You are approaching a T intersection. C. The road that you are on intersects with a divided highway. D. You are on an overpass above a divided highway. C. The road that you are on intersects with a divided highway. This sign indicates that the road that you are on intersects with a divided highway. A divided highway is two one-way roadways separated by a median or guide rail. When turning left at an intersection, A. You should always yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. B. Oncoming traffic and pedestrians should yield to you. C. You should never yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. A. You should always yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. When turning left at an intersection, yield the right-of-way to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. Once the intersection is clear and applicable signals allow, you may complete the turn. A driver approaching a flashing red traffic signal must A. Slow down at the light. B. Drive carefully without stopping. C. Merge to the right. D. Stop before entering the intersection. D. Stop before entering the intersection. A flashing red light means that you must stop, yield to traffic and pedestrians, and go only when it is safe. At a railroad crossing, a flashing red light indicates that a train is approaching. Yield to the train, and go only when the lights have stopped flashing and all other active warning devices deactivate. Allow extra space in front of your vehicle when following A. Station wagon. B. Passenger vehicle. C. Motorcycle. If you are stopped by a police officer, you should A. Unbuckle your seat belt and lower your window. B. Get your paperwork ready before the officer reaches your car. C. Stay in your vehicle with your hands on the steering wheel and wait for the officer to approach you. D. Get out of your car and walk toward the patrol car. C. Stay in your vehicle with your hands on the steering wheel and wait for the officer to approach you. If you are stopped by the police, keep your hands on the wheel and ask any passengers to keep their hands in view as well. You should remain in the vehicle unless the police officer asks you to get out. Wait until the officer asks you to retrieve your driver license, registration, and insurance cards. What is a no zone? A. A designated no passing zone. B. A one-way traffic area. C. The blind spot of a large vehicle. D. An area designated for motor vehicles. C. The blind spot of a large vehicle. No zones are the large blind spots around trucks and other large vehicles. Drivers of smaller vehicles should avoid lingering in no zones. This sign means A. Divided highway ends. B. One-way traffic ahead. C. Two-way traffic ahead. D. Keep to the right. D. Keep to the right. This sign indicates that you must keep to the right of the upcoming divider. This road sign means A. Turn right after making a complete stop. B. Right turns are not permitted. C. Left turns are permitted. D. None of the above. B. Right turns are not permitted. Regulatory signs display laws that drivers must always obey. Right turns are not permitted where this sign is present. Slowing down just to look at collisions or anything else out of the ordinary. A. Causes traffic congestion. B. Prevents rear-end collisions. C. Improves traffic flow by preventing collisions. A. Causes traffic congestion. Avoid rubbernecking, or slowing down to look at collisions or anything else out of the ordinary. This helps to relieve traffic congestion. A red flashing traffic light has the same meaning as a solid red light. B. Stop sign. C. Yield sign. D. Caution sign. B. Stop sign. A red flashing traffic signal has the same meaning as a stop sign. When approaching a red flashing signal, come to a complete stop and proceed when it is safe to do so. A stop sign may sometimes also be posted where this signal is located. If another driver cuts you off in traffic, you should A. Pull next to the driver and yell at them. B. Let it go. C. Flash your high beams at the driver. D. Get back at the other driver by cutting them off. A motorist making a left turn at an intersection must yield the right-of-way to a bicyclist entering the intersection from the opposite direction. A. True. B. False. The posted maximum speed limit is the fastest you can drive in an area. A. True. B. False. A. True. The posted maximum speed limit is the fastest legal driving speed in an area, under ideal conditions. You must reduce your speed when conditions require it, such as when the roadway is slippery or when it is difficult to see clearly down the road. When changing lanes, you can check your blind spot by A. Using the inside rearview mirror. B. Turning your head and looking over your shoulder. C. Using your side mirror. B. Turning your head and looking over your shoulder. Even if your vehicle is properly equipped with mirrors, there are blind spots that cannot be seen by using the mirrors. Before changing lanes, look over your shoulder to check these areas. Alcohol is the single greatest common factor in fatal motor vehicle crashes. A. True. B. False. A. True. Alcohol is the #1 killer on American roadways. Alcohol affects a person's vision and slows their reaction time, so it takes longer to act in an emergency. Alcohol affects a person's driving even if they are below the level of illegal intoxication. There are oncoming vehicles to your left and a row of parked vehicles to your right. You should steer A. Closer to the oncoming vehicles than the parked vehicles. B. Closer to the parked vehicles than the oncoming vehicles. C. A middle course between the oncoming and parked vehicles. C. A middle course between the oncoming and parked vehicles. If there are oncoming vehicles to your left and a row of parked vehicles to your right, the best thing to do is to split the difference. Steer a middle course between the oncoming cars and the parked cars. When turning left, drivers must yield the right of way to a. Other drivers who are already in the intersection. b. Oncoming traffic. c. Pedestrians who are already in the intersection. d. All of the above. d. All of the above. When turning left, drivers must yield the right of way to oncoming traffic. Drivers must also always yield the right of way to pedestrians, bicyclists, and other drivers who are already in the intersection. In rainy weather, you should be most careful when turning or stopping. A. After it has been raining all day. B. 1/2 hour after it stops raining. C. During the first half hour of rain. C. During the first half hour of rain. You should be extra careful when turning and stopping during the first half hour of rain. At this point, the oil from cars has not yet washed off the pavement and could be forming a slippery mixture with the rain.